Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you've been waiting for the huge Blox Fruits Dragon update, the wait is finally over. Released on December 14th, 2024, this update brought so many exciting changes that I just had to talk about it. We've got the brand new Gas Fruit, the reworked Dragon Fruit, and a ton of other cool stuff that'll change the way you play the game. And if you've been dealing with that annoying Buddha range glitch, guess what? It's finally been fixed. Plus, Chop is now Blade and Diamond. Talk about a crazy overhaul. Now, with all these changes, it's the perfect time for an updated Blox Fruits tier list for December 2024. Of course, every fruit in the game has its own strengths, so this list will give you a general idea of what's performing the best right now. But hey, keep in mind that your playstyle can make a huge difference. Whether you're all about those powerful transformations or prefer a more tactical approach, any fruit can be a good fit. So, let's dive into the new rankings and see what's hot in Blox Fruits right now. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking fruits in Blox Fruits. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching! The fruits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Spike, Smoke, Yump, Spring, and Rocket. Alright, let's talk about the fruits in Blox Fruits that are, well, not exactly the most exciting picks. We're diving into the D tier fruits, where you'll find some of the most underwhelming options in the game. These fruits may not be totally useless, but they definitely don't shine when it comes to PvP or high-level grinding. But hey, they can still be fun in their own way. Let's break down these less-than-stellar fruits and see where they stand. First up, we've got Spike. It's a common natural type fruit that'll set you back about 180,000 money or 380 Robux from the Blox Fruit dealer. Now, Spike isn't terrible, but it's definitely not what you want for PvP. The lack of mobility and combo potential makes it tough to use in fights. Sure, it's fine for some low-level grinding in the first C, especially with its AoE moves, but once you start hitting the tougher areas, you'll want to swap it out for something else. Next on the list is Smoke. This one's a common elemental type fruit, and it costs 100,000 money or 250 Robux. Even though it's a common fruit, it packs a punch for first C grinding and low-level PvP. Smoke has some pretty nice stuns, solid damage, and a cool little trick up its sleeve. You can do infinite damage with its F ability, Smoke Bomber. It's a decent choice if you're just starting out, but don't expect to rely on it for long once you hit the higher levels. Then, we've got Bomb, another common natural type fruit. This one costs 80,000 money or 220 Robux, and while it's a bit more viable for grinding in the first C, it's not without its flaws. Bomb's low mastery requirements make it an easy fruit to use early on, but it doesn't have elemental reflex, which can be a deal breaker in PvP. Still, if you can make the most of its massive AoE and knockback, Bomb can be a fun fruit to mess around with. Just don't count on it for anything too serious once you leave the first C. Spring is up next, and let's be honest, this fruit is not great. It's a common natural type fruit that'll cost you 60,000 money or 180 Robux, but don't expect much from it. Spring is often regarded as one of the weakest fruits in the game, whether you're grinding or battling. It's got decent mobility, but it just doesn't pack enough punch in combat. Other fruits like Bomb or Chop are far better options if you're looking for something that gets the job done. And finally, we've got Rocket, formerly known as Kilo. It's the cheapest fruit in the game, coming in at just 5,000 money or 50 Robux. And while it's not going to blow you away, it's still better than Spring. Rocket has a bit more power behind its attacks, making it a solid option for grinding and even some PvP action. Its AoE skills are decent, and because it's so cheap, it's an ideal choice for new players who don't have a lot of money or Robux to spare. Still, don't expect to be a pro with Rocket anytime soon. So there you have it, folks. Some of the fruits in Blox Fruits that might not be the most exciting choices, but can still be useful in certain situations. If you're just starting out or looking to try something different, these D-tier fruits might be worth a shot. But as you progress, you'll definitely want to aim for some higher tier options to really make a splash in the game. The fruits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Pain, Gravity, Control, Quake, Diamond, Falcon, and Spin. Alright, let's talk about some of the Blox Fruits that don't quite make the cut but still have their moments. Whether you love them or just can't seem to get rid of them, these are the fruits that fall into the C tier, and honestly, they're just a little underwhelming compared to the higher tier fruits. So, if you've got one of these in your inventory, maybe it's time to reconsider your strategy, or just embrace the chaos. First up, we've got Pain. Now, Pain is a legendary natural type fruit that costs 2,300,000 money or 2,200 Robux. Sounds like a pretty cool fruit, right? But here's the thing, it's rarely seen in PvP combat. Sure, it has long-range abilities, but the truth is, it's mostly used by sword or gun mains, and even then, it doesn't do much to impress. Trading-wise, it has pretty low value, so if you're looking to sell, you might want to hold on to it just for the memes. Next is Gravity, another mythical natural type fruit. It'll set you back 2,500 money or 20,300 Robux, and while it does have some decent combo potential and the ability to stun, it's honestly kind of a hassle to use effectively. PvP-wise, it's hard to master, and with its knockback and smaller hitbox, it's not the best option for grinding. Even in the second C, this fruit's not making waves, so maybe keep it on the shelf if you want smoother gameplay. Then there's Control. This one's a little quirky. Control costs 3,200 money or 2,500 Robux and lets you create a massive circular area where you can toss objects around like a maniac. Sounds fun, right? The catch is that outside of this zone, Control is basically useless. It doesn't do much damage against sea beasts, and unlocking all its moves requires so much mastery that it can be a total grind fest. So, unless you're looking for something that's mostly about looking cool while running around, you might want to pass on this one. Quake, however, is a bit of a fan favorite, and I get why. This legendary natural type fruit costs 1,000 money or 1,500 Robux, and it packs a punch with its big hitboxes, screen shake, and decent stuns. When awakened, it can break instinct and deals some pretty solid damage. It's a decent choice for PvP and boss fights, so if you've got Quake, you might actually want to keep it for a bit longer. It's not top tier, but it's definitely more useful than some of the other fruits in this tier. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we've got Diamond, an uncommon natural type fruit. Costing 600,000 money or 1,000 Robux, Diamond doesn't see much use in PvP, but for sword mains, it provides a solid defense boost. It doesn't increase your hitbox like Buddha, which is a plus. After its rework, Diamond became much better for PvP, but outside of that, it's mainly known for being solid in grinding. It's just one of those fruits that's always a reliable backup, but nothing special to write home about. Finally, we've got Falcon and Spin, two fruits that really don't stand out. Falcon, an uncommon beast-type fruit, is probably the worst on this list. It costs 300,000 money or 650 Robux, and it's just underwhelming in every way. It only has 3 attack moves, all of which deal medium damage and lack AoE, making it super boring to use. And Spin? Oh boy, this is probably the most forgettable fruit in the game. It's only 7,500 money or 75 Robux, but it's just bad for grinding and PvP with only 4 moves, one of which is ranged, but honestly not worth the effort. If you've got either of these fruits, just consider switching them out. So there you have it, folks, the fruits that live in the C tier. They have their moments, but compared to the S tiers and A tiers, they're just not doing enough to keep up. Still, if you enjoy them or find some hidden potential, more power to you. The fruits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Mammoth, Sound, Love, Buddha, Magma, Barrier, Rubber, and Flame. Alright, let's dive right into the juicy Blox fruits that fall into the B tier category. These fruits might not be top tier, but they're still solid picks for both PvP and grinding. First up, we've got Mammoth. Now, this one's a bit of a beast, literally. Mammoth lets you transform into an armored mammoth and deal continuous damage while you're in that form. It's a good fruit for sea events, especially if you're using the shark race, thanks to its roar that hits sea beasts. But let's be real, it's a little on the slower side, so you'll want a speed buff to really make the most of it in combat. Next up is Sound. This fruit might not be the flashiest, but it's got some serious AoE potential. Every move, except the F move, deals area of effect damage, which makes it awesome for grinding, PvP, and sea beast hunting. If you've got a group of players, this fruit can be a fantastic support option, offering both high damage and that sweet AoE coverage. Plus, its versatility makes it a decent all-rounder fruit. Then there's Love. Don't let the name fool you. This fruit is all about applying debuffs to enemies with its passive effects. Love also shines in AoE damage, and has some utility thanks to its ability to let you fly and carry an ally. It's like a support character that's also a solid damage dealer. While it's not the hardest hitter out there, it's a great option for players who want a bit of flexibility and some team play potential. Buddha is another one to consider. Buddha's transformation boosts your melee and sword range, making it a beast for grinding and raids. Plus, you can use swords, fighting styles, and even guns while transformed. But, and this is a big but, it does make you bigger. which means your hitbox is larger, and that can make you an easier target in PvP. Still, for anyone focused on melee or sword combat, Buddha's a powerful pick. Let's talk about Magma. This fruit is a damage machine, especially when it comes to sea events and grinding. With high damage over time effects, a low cooldown on its Z Magma Shower, and the ability to walk on water after awakening, Magma's a solid contender. Sure, it's not the fastest in PvP, but if you can trap your enemies in the magma, the damage will rack up fast. It's definitely one of the best fruits for PvE, though it might struggle a bit against speedy PvP players. Last but not least, we have Barrier. Now, Barrier isn't going to be your go-to for grinding or PvP, but it can shine in some specific situations. The Z Barrier Wall move can be super useful during raids, blocking enemies so your teammates can do the damage without getting hit. It's also fun for trolling, blocking entrances and exits in certain areas, like the mansion or the portal exit. But for most other situations, it's just okay. Definitely not the most exciting fruit, but it has its uses if you know when to pull it out. So there you have it. A rundown of the B-tier Blox Fruits. They might not be the absolute best, but they've all got their own strengths and are definitely worth considering depending on your playstyle. Whether you're grinding, hunting sea beasts, or just messing around with friends, these fruits can be a blast to use. The fruits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Venom, Shadow, T-Rex, Blizzard, Phoenix, Spider, Light, Dark, Sand, Ice, and Blade. Let's dive into the world of Blox Fruits and talk about some of the absolute heavy hitters in the A tier. If you've been grinding your way through the Cs, you know how important it is to pick the right fruit. Well, today, I'm here to break down the fruits that can really give you an edge, whether you're farming or going all in for PvP. These are the fruits that pack a punch but aren't exactly at the top tier. Still, you'll definitely want them in your arsenal. So, let's get started. First up, we've got Venom. This mythical natural type fruit costs a hefty 3,000 money or 2,450 Robux, but it's totally worth it. What makes Venom stand out is its transformation ability, which, when activated, lets you deal massive damage to all enemies in your range. The fruit's passive abilities make it a solid choice for grinding, and it's one of the better fruits for PvP too, thanks to its AoE potential. Sure, it requires some dedication to level up, but once you unlock its full power at 300 mastery, it can easily handle most situations. Perfect for players who love versatility. Next, we have Shadow, another mythical natural type fruit. It's a bit cheaper, priced at 2,900 money or 2,425 Robux. But don't let that fool you. Shadow has some serious PvP potential. It's not the most forgiving when it comes to grinding though, especially if you're just starting out. You'll be grinding in the second C before you can really unlock its full potential. The Umbra transformation is great for dealing high damage, and with its AoE Corvus Torment and Umbrage moves, you can take on a lot of enemies. But be warned, early game players may find it a little rough. If you're looking for something that's a little more grounded, T-Rex might be your fruit of choice. This mythical beast type fruit costs 2,700 money or 2,450 Robux, and it lets you transform into a literal Tyrannosaurus Rex. Sounds cool, right? Well, it is. T-Rex is an amazing choice for ground PvP, especially with its M1 abilities, but you'll need a fair bit of mastery to unlock its full potential, including the transformation. This is a late game fruit, so if you're still grinding through the earlier Cs, you may want to wait on picking this one up. Blizzard is another A-tier fruit that's absolutely loaded with utility. This legendary elemental type fruit costs 2,400 money or 2,250 Robux, and it's one of the most versatile fruits out there. Whether you're dealing with PvP or grinding, Blizzard has your back with stuns, high damage, and some solid AoE attacks. Its flight ability lets you dish out endless damage while avoiding hits, making it great for sea events and tough fights. If you want a fruit that can do a little bit of everything, Blizzard is definitely one to consider. Phoenix is a classic in the Blox Fruits world. Priced at 1,800 money or 2,000 Robux, this legendary beast-type fruit offers a lot of support. Phoenix allows you to heal allies with its AoE abilities, making it a solid choice for team-based activities. It's also decently good for sea events once you unlock its awakened version. The downside? Unawakened Phoenix isn't as strong in solo PvP, so it's more of a team player. But if you're playing with others, Phoenix can be a game changer. Last but definitely not least is Spider, formerly known as String. This legendary natural type fruit costs 1,500 money or 1,800 Robux, and it's a fan favorite for PvP. Spider shines with its stuns, high damage, and large hitboxes when awakened. However, it's not the easiest fruit to master, especially for grinding, as it lacks the elemental reflex that some other fruits offer. But when it comes to PvP, Spider can lock down opponents and deal out crazy amounts of damage, making it a great choice for experienced players who want to dominate the arena. So there you have it, some of the best A-tier fruits in Blox Fruits. They might not be the absolute top-tier picks, but they sure pack a punch and are perfect for players looking to get the job done in both PvP and PvE. Keep these fruits in mind as you level up, and you'll be well on your way to conquering the seas. The fruits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Leopard, Spirit, Gas, Rumble, and Ghost. Let's talk about some of the most insane Blox fruits that will totally change how you dominate in PvP. First up, we have Leopard, which is an absolute monster in the game. This mythical beast type fruit costs a whopping 5,000 money or 3,000 Robux. But trust me, it's worth every penny. With abilities like wind bullets, air blades, and the ability to transform into a humanoid leopard, this fruit is perfect for anyone who loves quick, powerful attacks. It's one of the most expensive fruits, and for good reason. If you're serious about PvP, you'll want leopard in your arsenal. Next, let's dive into Spirit, a mythical, natural type fruit. Spirit costs 3,400 money, or 2,550 Robux, and it's basically a powerhouse in PvP. The user can summon spirits to attack, heal, and even boost their speed. The whole vibe of Spirit is just amazing. It's based on Egyptian gods Ra and Shu, so the moves and lore are top tier. It's not exactly beginner friendly though, as you'll need some serious mastery to get the most out of it. But if you've got the grind, Spirit is a game changer. Then there's Gas, another mythical elemental type fruit. This one is all about creating massive AoE, area of effect damage, and combos. It costs 3,200 money or 2,500 Robux, and while it's pretty new, it's already making waves in the PvP scene. The gaseous attacks and aura surrounding the user are just insanely powerful, making this fruit perfect for clearing out crowds and taking on multiple players at once. If you love comboing your way through battles, Gas is going to be your best friend. Now, let's talk about Rumble, a legendary elemental type fruit that costs 2,100 money or 2,100 Robux. If you're looking for versatility, Rumble has it all. You've got stuns, damage, movement abilities, and combo potential. On top of that, it's also pretty solid for grinding because of its elemental immunity. However, there's one little thing to keep in mind. If someone's using rubber, you're in trouble because rubber users are immune to Rumble's electric attacks. Still, for general PvP, Rumble's definitely a solid pick. Up next is Ghost, a rare natural type fruit that costs 940,000 money or 1,275 Robux. Ghost, formerly known as Revive, is all about mobility and survival. Its unique passive, Resurrection, allows you to come back to life with 50% of your health after you die, which is honestly one of the coolest abilities in the game. This makes Ghost perfect for those high-risk, high-reward players who want to stay in the action and dish out damage even when things are looking grim. If you like the idea of always having a second chance, Ghost is definitely worth trying out. Each of these fruits brings something special to the table, whether it's insane damage, unique abilities, or just that sweet extra chance to come back from the dead. So if you've got the money or Robux to spare, why not try them out and see how they can elevate your gameplay? The fruits in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Dragon, Kitsune, Doe, and Portal. Alright, let's dive straight into the S+ tier Blox fruits in Blox Fruits, because let's face it, these fruits aren't just good, they're absolutely game-changing. First up, we've got Dragon. This fruit isn't just for show, it's a powerhouse. Available for 15,000 money or 5,000 Robux from the Blox Fruit dealer, Dragon is one of the most sought-after fruits for PvP. With its insane long-range attacks, AoE damage, and the legendary Heatwave Cannon Zed, this fruit is a sky camper's worst nightmare. Not to mention, its ability to counter other top-tier fruits like Doe, Ice, and Light makes it an all-around beast. Plus, it has two unique forms, Eastern and Western, each with its own flair, including different damage outputs and animations. And if you're really feeling like leveling up, the hybrid form with the V Imperial evolution adds even more to the chaos. Now, let's talk about Kitsune, the nine-tailed fox fruit, and trust me, it lives up to the hype. For 8,000 money or 4,000 Robux from the dealer, you get access to this mythical beast-type fruit. But here's the catch. It's not easy to get. If you're lucky, you might snag a physical Kitsune fruit by offering Azure Embers to the Kitsune Shrine in the 3rd Sea, but it's got a 0.1% drop rate. However, once you unlock it, you'll be transformed into a fox with some serious paranormal powers. It's a killer for both grinding and PvP, and while it's perfect for high-level players with its M1 attacks, lower-level players might need some time to fully unlock its potential. Next up, let's take a look at Dough. This mythical elemental type fruit costs 2,800,000 money or 2,400 Robux from the Blox Fruit dealer. Now, Dough is known for its incredible PvP value, and it's pretty tough to beat in combat with its stuns, instinct break, and overall insane damage output. It's a bit tricky to awaken, but once you do, it's a total game changer. The best part? It's got high demand in trading, which means you could make a nice profit if you're lucky enough to get it. That said, it does have some high mastery requirements, and in the early seas, it might not be the best choice. But once you unlock its full potential, it's totally worth the grind. Then there's Portal, previously known as Door. If you're a fan of mobility and avoiding trouble, this legendary natural type fruit is your new best friend. For 1,900,000 money or 2,000 Robux, Portal lets you teleport across islands, making it perfect for fruit hunting and escaping bounty hunters. It's probably one of the best fruits when it comes to traveling. Whether you're opening portals on land or in the air, this fruit has got you covered. The real charm, though, lies in its versatility for PvP. The X and V skills can be used for some sweet combos, and the teleportation can even help you dodge stuns from other fruits like Rumble, Dough, and Buddha. However, you do need to get a bit of practice with this one, since it's not the best for long-range combat. But when you're all about speed and movement, Portal is definitely one to keep in mind. But hey, even with all these insane abilities, remember that S+ tier fruits aren't just for anyone. You'll need a lot of grinding, mastery, and maybe even a bit of luck to get your hands on these. But once you do, you're basically on another level of gameplay. Whether it's the destructive power of Dragon, the trickiness of Dough, the mobility of Portal, or the cunning fox magic of Kitsune, each of these fruits offers something unique and game-defining. So if you're looking to dominate in PvP, increase your chances of survival, or just show off to your friends, these S+ tier fruits are definitely worth aiming for. They bring in the power, the style, and the versatility, making them must-haves for any serious Blox Fruits player. If you've got the resources, the grind, and the skills to back them up, you'll be unstoppable. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.